cool. You want to hit the roll, Tom?
Yeah, I do. Let's do it. 1LB condescending. What 1L condescending impossible? What's the
Jesus Christ, man.
what's the meme? 1L condescending impossible. There we are. There we go. Had to drop it. Dude. Oh, this evening we're joined by PK. Dude, it's very fucking good to have you on. You've actually been a profitable trader the last couple of weeks, which is impressive, considering the state of the trenches. So yeah, we've got some themes to ask you.
I'd say I'm like, over the last couple of weeks, I'm probably not profitable.
Okay.
I'd say I probably peaked around 24th or 25th of January. And then since then, I mean, I've lost a tiny bit, but it's...
You killed it on the Trump trade, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter because you killed on the Trump trade.
Yeah, Trump was very good. Yeah,
that's
basically...
another generational fade in the books for me. I was at the beach. I saw the notification on Moonshot, like verified Trump listing. And I was like, I'm on holidays. I don't want to be up for 24 hours looking at this. I'm just going to ignore it. And then I look and I'm it's an 80.
At what price did it get verified on Moonshot?
I think it was like, I don't know what the FDV was, but the market cap was 400 mil.
Oh, what?
Was what?
Really?
400 million, I think, or something close to it.
400 million.
Really? I thought it like a billion or 2 billion. Like
that would have been around $2 then, right?
Yeah. It would have been, it was like the moment, and then it would have been like turbo bid from there. Like it was the kind of thing you wouldn't actually get an entry at that, but that's the notification came up, was like Trump coin verified 400 mil market cap. And I was like,
yeah, that would have been $2 because it was 20% FDB. 20% circulating.
Yeah, so times by 5. Yeah. So $2 billion.
$2 billion.
But yeah, man, fucking great to have you on. I don't know, it's always it's a bit trite, but it's a good place to start. I think it's always nice to hear like intro with how people got into crypto. You seem to be pretty proficient nowadays, but it'll be good to hear about like what your first interaction was with it. It's always a good time. So
it's kind of a funny story. So in like during COVID, I was like I didn't have a job or anything, so I was just like at home all day, and just not really doing anything. And I was like looking at the stock market, and like really wanted to get into the stock market because like everything was crashing during COVID. It was like really good time to buy, but the problem was like I could barely afford rent, so I didn't really have money to. I was like putting like $10 into a stock, and then like making like. I was putting them into like penny stocks, making like a 2x, and then pulling out $20 and be like, and I was thinking like, okay, this shit's like not really going anywhere. So I kind of like stopped. And then anyway, towards like the end of COVID, like end of 2020, I was like, fuck this, I'm leaving Melbourne, I'm going back home. I was going to go back home, live with my mum while I had like an internship at my mom's hometown. So I moved back into mom's, and then it was January of 2021, and my brother showed me like this tweet from Elon Musk, and Elon Musk was like shilling Dogecoin. I was like, holy shit! Like, I was like, I remembered, oh my god, like 4 or 5 years ago, whatever, like 2016, I had been trading crypto because I there was like the peak bull. I got fucking wrecked. I was like buying the top of XRP or something. But I was like, holy shit, I remember like I used to trade crypto back in the day, and I was just like trading stocks. Maybe I could trade crypto. So anyway, I bought like Dogecoin because Elon Musk tweeted about it, and basically like 2 days later, I had $1,000 at the time. I put all my $1,000 into Dogecoin, and 2 days later, I sold my Dogecoin for $500. So I was 50% wrecked instantly. So and then at that point I was like, okay, so clearly Dogecoin was not the play, but I was kind of still interested in crypto. So I decided to try and join some Discord groups to like get some advice trading. And I joined this Discord group called Cryptocopia. They're still around actually. It's a cool Discord group. Like there's a lot of chads have come up through Cryptocopia. Like GCR is an old member of Cryptocopia. Icebergy, like a lot of like big play, because Cryptocopia was like a big Discord back in like 2017, 2018, and then they kind of just died off. But so there's like like GCR sometimes talks in there, like not very much anymore, but he used to. So it's kind of like a cool group to join, and they kind of showed me about on-chain trading, like how to do it. So I bought like some cake and BNB, and I jumped on BSC. This is in like February, March of 2021. And then I discovered that there was this way to like seed contracts as they launch. And I went on Reddit. This was like I was starting with like $100 at this point. And I went on Reddit and I saw this guy talking about how he's going to launch a Harambe coin. And it was like super hype. There was like 1,000 people in the Telegram. And I was like, if I can get this Harambe coin early, I can make like a lot of money. And so basically I went on to KuCoin Snipe, and it like listed all these new contracts that as they were being made. And I managed to find the correct Harambe contract before he had added liquidity through KuCoin Snipe. And basically he added liquidity. I put all my $100 into it. And then like an hour later, I sold it all for like 20K. And that was basically my first big trade in crypto. Like I made like a 200x in like 3 hours. And at that point I was just I was hooked. And then I traded that 20K up to like 80 or 100K by May of 2021. And then I literally lost probably 96% of it in that when Vitalik dumped all of his shitcoins in May 11th or May 12th, I think it was. I lost like 96%, and I started again from 4K.
Jesus.
So, that was pretty much my like first few months in crypto. It was pretty interesting, so to speak.
That's
and from
mental,
then
dude.
I over the next, like, we kind of went into like a mini bear market. I managed to trade my 4K up to like back to like 50, 60K, and then I was kind of just AFK for a bit, like through the whole Ohm fork like saga. I was so AFK, like I missed everything. And then in like, I think it was September, October, Arbitrum just like launched, and I jumped straight on Arbitrum when it launched. I like full ported into Arbidoge and GMX when they first launched, and I made a lot of money. Probably made like mid 6 figures on GMX and like low 6 figures on Arbidoge. And then I managed to lose about 90% of that over the next year, like through because of Luna and FTX and all that.
Yeah.
Nice.
So but
Holy
that was
fuck,
like my
dude.
first year in crypto.
Holy shit.
Wow, that's crazy. It's crazy that you the port like basically died twice or 3 times, and like you managed to like recover it back right at like the brink of like literal zero, which is like kind of insane and kind of cool.
That's kind of how it went. Like when it was a big roller coaster, like the chart of my portfolio. That's not even including, I had like during midway through 2021, like I joined this like syndicate group, and I was investing in all these like seed rounds. And those were it was so depressing because like obviously you have like a 3-month or 6-month cliff or whatever. So you're like, when you invest in these seed rounds, especially in 2021, it's a bit different these days, but like you would invest them at such low valuations, and then they would just skyrocket so high, but like your tokens were locked, and unless they had perps, you couldn't like hedge them or anything. So I think I had like a paper net worth of like $2 million, but like it was all in locked tokens. And by the time they unlocked it, that 2 million was like, it was like 15K.
Oh my god.
Something like super depressing.
Wow.
Dude, literally being locked out of a cell of just watching it and being like, okay, well, cool.
Yeah,
I think
that was my 2021 like locked like kind of pre-echo experience with locked tokens. And that's why I was like I'm like very against like people investing in all these all the dog shit on Echo. I mean, there's good stuff on Echo too, but there's a lot of dog shit.
I feel like I had like much smaller glimpses of that with like fucking locking a few K on like staking some shit. and being like, oh man, damn it, I wish I didn't have a 30-day unlock period for this kind of shit. This would be great to sell right now.
Yeah, I remember like
Yeah,
heaps
yeah.
of dudes locking up their like especially a lot of like whale pudgy penguins locking up like all their dime when they receive like 6-figure airdrops of like dime,
Oh,
and they just like locked
please.
it up, staked it, like they're like all the roll-ups, like all the roll-ups are coming, all the roll-ups are coming. And it's like, yeah, it's like literally like 6 figs to like probably sub 10K now. Like
Well, hey, we got the NIM airdrop. So
the NIM network airdrops. I was like, at the start, I was like, I'm gonna get like 5K, and then by like the day of launch, I'm like, I'll be happy with like $500. Like,
I think, dude, I had a few K across like multiple wallets of Dime initially. It's now nothing, and I'm just like, well, it's just in the system. And maybe when we get an alt season in 2028, I'll be groovy. But like, I think my NIM airdrop, like the biggest one I got was like $38, and I was like, oh.
Just
I think I got
reminded
like
me.
This is
$380 or something crazy. Like it was so shit. I was like,
yeah.
insta yeeted. Like I couldn't even work out how to yeet it either. I was like, oh my god. But
It's
yeah.
not great. But PK, I don't know, like that's like how you got into it.
One
How
of the
did you find it?
craziest stories I've heard, like getting into
That's
crypto.
fucking mental. How did you like? Did you change much with this cycle? Like, what was your trading like starting, like, start of bull run from like, I don't know, mid to late 2023 to now? How did that go?
Yeah, so mm, I'd say my I didn't really I was much more defensive this cycle, so I didn't really make I guess my portfolio was bigger, so like even like where I was like 100xing my whole portfolio in 2021. This cycle I wasn't doing that kind of stuff, but because I started with a lot more, it was like I guess I didn't need to, but yeah, I'd say I was a lot more defensive this cycle. Was not I was not being like aggressive buying shit coins. Very just being careful not to blow up again. Um, yeah, so I'd say that was my biggest difference, and I'd say that I probably mistimed that because I was defensive at like a point where I shouldn't have been defensive, and then so like I
Mm.
missed most of the AI stuff because I was thinking like when they were all at like 100 200 mil, I was like, oh, these have topped, and then like they all hit like 2 bill or whatever. So it's like I was I was defensive at a point where I shouldn't have been, but I don't really like hold that against myself because I don't see like how there's no way I could have known that it would go up. So I'm fairly happy with like my performance overall this cycle. It's not like I'm disappointed with how I played it, but yeah, I'd say overall my outlook was just very defensive.
Okay. So in the like one of the big things that like I first came across of yours was the how I bankrupted a casino article.
Oh
You
yeah.
seem to be pretty good at like detailing how you find an edge and then also finding an edge. I would like to hear more about the whole like essentially identifying this kind of shit. Um, like how you did it all with the whole blast thing as well. It's interesting.
Yeah, so in general, I'd say finding them is I'd say it's difficult. Like because they're just there's like first of all there's a limit to like what you can even do. Like for example, like a coder or anything. So there's like that takes out like almost 90% of what you can do on chain. Like with all flash botting and EVM and stuff, and
Mm.
EVing and stuff. So like that takes out like 90% of your edge just in general on chain. So then my main things I'm looking for are like arbitrage opportunities or like exploitation. So I'd say probably my biggest ones there was obviously that casino, and probably another one of my big ones was on NFT perp, which was basically NFT perp was like basically perpetual contracts but for NFTs. This was back in like 2023. Back in yes, probably start of 2023. I was like the basically the perpetual like NFT contracts were much slower than the NFT movements because like an NFT can obviously go up like a lot in one day, and then the perpetual contract wouldn't follow it because not enough people were trading it. So I'd basically just buy it up, and then I'd be collecting funding until like other people bought it up higher, and then I could sell it. Yeah, I mean that was fairly profitable. The whole protocol ended up exploding actually because it was actually my fault. I basically I reported a bug where if your size was too big, you couldn't get liquidated. So they changed the liquidation logic, and then because they changed the liquidation logic, this guy who had bought like probably 200,000 or 300,000 worth of Milady, he got instantly liquidated because the new logic basically saw like big size as a liquidation risk, so it just instantly liquidated him. And the price of Milady, the Milady contract went from like, it was at the time it was like I think they were like 2.5 ETH for a Milady. It went from 2.4 to so it was 2.4 on the protocol. It was usually quite lower on the protocol, like usually like 5% lower. So that was normal. It was 2.4 on the protocol, and then he got liquidated and it went down to like 0.2 Ethereum.
What?
So anyway, as soon as I saw that, I was just buying massive amounts of Milady, and I had probably about $200,000 worth of Milady, and it kept going up, and in the end I was in profit like 80k or something, and then they just canceled all the all the shit. So I never actually got to realize any of that profit. And what they said was they were going to reimburse you in their token when they launched, but they still haven't launched a token. I don't know if they ever will at this point. But when they do launch it, they're going to give me 80k worth of their thing, or maybe 30k worth of their thing. I can't remember now. I think it might be 30k because I think I sold half of it, so it might only be like 40k, and then the other half I already sold. But anyway, the end result of NFT perp, I think I was up like 60 or 70k over like a month or two. Just from exploiting their the time lag in between the contracts. So yeah, I just look for like things like that. And I mean, I remember I made a tweet like a month or two ago about like how like about having a job in crypto, and everyone got like, people got getting like very mad about it because like they were thinking I was saying like you should quit your job and go to crypto full time. But I was more talking about like, if you're a good trader and you're good at seeing opportunities and you have a job, it's like a hindrance because you don't have as much time to look for opportunities. So I was more thinking of in the lines of like the casino and the NFT perp thing. Like if you don't have time to do them, like just one of those like casino or NFT perp trades can like basically make a whole year's salary if you don't like, you know, lose it for trading shitcoins or whatever.
So true.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's valuable advice. I feel like I could learn something from that. Overtrading shitcoins? No.
It's so,
never.
It's so true though.
I've never done that.
I feel like
I probably undertrade shitcoins, but yeah, I'd say overtrading them is worse than undertrading.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely, yeah.
I think you're like one of those ones, PK, that like, from what I've seen like over the years of like following you, like you see like a thing and you do really well in it, and like that's it for a bit, and then like you come back and then like you do another thing. Whereas like there's always that meme where it's like just keep clicking. It's like, well, maybe don't keep clicking and just like have a few good wins a year, and those few good wins have outsized returns.
Yeah, that is my philosophy. I don't always hold to it though. Like I often like, I mean, you can tell from 2021, like I gave back a lot to the market that I shouldn't have. So like, yeah, that's what I try and do, but I don't always, you know, live up to that. Like, everyone just gets greedy and thinks, you know, oh, I can hit a 2x on this, and then, you know, it goes down 50% or whatever. But
yeah, I feel like whenever like things get super heated, like, and like you're having back-to-back wins, like that confidence grows in you, and it's always in that time, like when you look back, you're like, hey, that's when it was close to the top. Like I should have, you know, should have sold
for
then.
sure.
Yeah, definitely. You PK, you did well on like the Binance Smart Chain shit initially, right? Like that was where you kind of like cut your teeth.
That's why for sure.
Okay.
Binance and then Arbitrum. Those were my two like big projects in 2021.
I arrived after. I mean, fuck it. I didn't even start trading till like 2023 properly. I was just an observer, a peeping Tom, if you will, for like 2021, 2022, and then yeah, kind of like actually started trading. But like, what do you think of like the most recent Binance Smart Chain shit? Like, it lasted like a day from my read anyway.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, what's your take on CZ being broccoli? I was like, oh fuck, this is not great.
I actually bridged 100K to BSD to take advantage of it, and then I realized this shit was going to be short lived, and I just bridged 100K off. I didn't even buy it. I think I bought like 5K of cum rocket, which was like a 2021 coin that hit like $1 billion.
Oh my god.
I bought like 5K of it, and then I just sold it at like for like a $5 or $100 loss, and then just left the chain because I realized that this shit is just like very short lived.
Yeah, opening up Deck Screener and seeing like 80 broccoli coins at like 200K market cap on like Sol and Base with like 10,000 boosts. I was like, oh.
I mean, CZ knows what he's doing 100%.
Yeah.
Dude, the guy's like, tweeting like, oh, what?
10 times,
meme coins.
He's 10 times harder than he Twitter.
Yeah,
He acts like a retard, but he's very smart.
Yeah,
he's a very smart retard.
Yeah. I think the problem with like with like
it's all an act. It's the same thing he did with when he was fighting with FTX. He was pretending like oh, we're just liquidating our FTT for you know, like it's a normal sell like we would do when we're up big on a seed round. But he actually knew because FTX's book got leaked like 2 weeks earlier, he knew FTX was in trouble. That's why he liquidated his FTT at that point.
Trust me, bro. I'm just rebalancing. Don't worry. Don't worry, guys. It's just a rebalance.
Wait, someone asked me a question. How is your trading going in the last month's PK? I think it was pretty hard, or did you had amazing big wins? For me personally, nothing really standing out besides hype and long in the election with BTC, Sol, and Pepe. Well, I mean, I guess Trump's an amazing big win.
Yeah, can you explain like how you identified that and like how you went about like sizing it, and like you obviously identified it as a PVE coin, and basically as one of the only, in hindsight, like PVE coins that you could have like just bought even on like, you know, most of the news, and you would have, you know, like even if you were late to it, you probably would have got like a 4 or 5x to on it. But yeah, so how did you go about like identifying that and then knowing if you should size into it or not size into it?
Yeah, so I didn't know at first. So basically how it went is I was at the vet when Trump launched it. So I was like, and my vet schedule was, I was supposed to be there at 12:30 and it was supposed to end at 1, but he was like half an hour late. So I only got in at 1 and then I left at 1:30, and Trump launched at like 1. So I would have actually, if everything had been on time, I would have got out just when Trump launched, but I ended up getting out like 45 minutes. By the time I got home, it was like 45 minutes to an hour after Trump had launched. And I think the price was around $3. And I saw it at $3 and I was like, whoa, is this legit? And then I was like, I think I even was talking in like the Not Gonna Make It group chat. I was like, I'm not sure if this is legit or not. It was like $3. I think it was $3.5. And then I like looked at over the tweets. I was like, you know, I was comparing the Truth Social and the fact that he tweeted it out on Twitter. And then I was like, okay, this is probably legit. And then at the time I was thinking, I'm not even going to bother because like, I didn't have money on Sol at the time. My money was on Ethereum. So I was like, I'm not going to bother with it. And then I just like probably 10 minutes later, I looked at the price again. It was at like $5. And I had this realization. I was like, wait a minute, the president, like the next president of the United States in 2 days just dropped a meme coin. This coin is on Solana. It's not. I was like, so this is my main thought process. Okay, this coin came out 2 hours ago, so probably 90% of the world hasn't even seen it yet.
Yeah,
like, there's people who are still asleep. Then my second thought was, okay, this hasn't even been listed on any exchange yet. And then my third thought was Trump is going to be inaugurated in 2 days. Like that's a massive catalyst. So I was like, okay, I just have to like full port this thing. So I bridged everything over. It took ages because there was like a lack of USDC on the chain. So I like it took like 15, 20 minutes just to bridge off onto Solana. So I bridged when the price was around like $4.50, $5, and by the time it got to Solana, it was like $6.5. And I
Yeah.
was just like, fuck it, I'm just top blasting. Like I just put, I think I put around maybe 300k or 250k in, and yeah, I just top blasted. And I thought this is gonna go. I think I actually made a price prediction on my Telegram channel. I was like, this is probably gonna go somewhere between $70 and $100.
And I literally
Just
did.
because it hasn't been listed anywhere, and it is going to get listed anywhere because it's Trump's coin. And I was like, yeah, I'm just full porting it, and yeah, that was it. I mean, I didn't really full port it because I had a lot of money in hype and stuff and I didn't take any of my HyperLiquid funds out, which I probably should have done, but I mean, I did long it on HyperLiquid when it came out, so I still, it didn't matter too much. But yeah, so that was just my thought process, and then it hit like $15, and I was like, wait a minute, I should like tell my like this could be free money. I should tell like people. So I was in like my fucking uni group chat. I was like, yo, because like some of them do crypto, but like not like crazy like shit. They just like, you know, casual. I was like, yo, the Trump just made a coin. It's like $14 right now. You should all buy it. I don't think any of them bought it, but one of my real life friends like called me up and was like, yo, can you show me how to buy it? So anyway, he bought like 5k of it at like 15.
Oh, nice.
Fuck yeah.
Did he sell it though at the right time?
He sold it at the right time, and then he bought back in at like $50 or something, and then fully round tripped and ended up making like $300 when it was up like 30k.
That's classic.
The buyback is so real. Like everyone does the buyback.
Yeah. I mean, even I did the buyback and I round tripped a bit, but I mean, not because I just cut it. But
it is crazy the temptation of like, fuck, I got to go back in, and then you're like, no, I definitely shouldn't, but you're like, I must.
Someone should make a wallet that like has a cooldown, like a ability cooldown on League, and then like you can't buy back a coin like within like so many hours.
Yeah, that would save me a lot of money.
Or you get like 30 warning messages. Are you sure? Are you really sure? 100%. Definitely. You're like, fuck.
So true.
Talks you out of it. Yeah, fuck. I guess we should have channeled our inner Aiden Ross. Who's bigger than the president? You know?
Yeah, it's so true. Like it was like in hindsight, like it was really one of the only like PVE coins of the cycle, aside from obviously like BTC. But like it just like was so obvious. Like all the catalysts you mentioned, like if you actually thought about it, like hadn't been listed on like Binance, and it was like obviously going to probably get listed on Binance if within an hour it was at like, you know, I don't know what the actual market cap was. It was at like multiple billions. Already probably the highest Solana meme coin in like 2 or 3 hours or something of launching. So like that was a good.
Actually, one of the other things I noticed that a lot of people like looking at the market cap was like, oh, this is already like $5 billion, and then I was like, and then I was checking and I was like, wait a minute, but this is 80% locked, so it's not even at $5 billion. It's like it's at $1 billion. Like this can like Pepe is at fucking 11 billion, and this is at 1 billion. This is a no-brainer.
So true.
That was the pit that I missed. Like, had I it was kind of like Slurf. Like, I don't know if you remember Slurf. Like
Slurf,
last year. Like when that launched, everyone was like, haha, that's funny.
I made a lot of money on Slurf.
And then it was like, wait, hold on, he like literally burnt this much supply, so it's actually worth this. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, there's no sellers because like he's not airdropping, so therefore like it should be.
Yeah, I made a lot on Slurf because I realized instantly, like, wait a minute, there's actually like there's 30 million liquidity and there's no one to sell because all the tokens are burnt. Like this is free money.
Yeah.
Slurf was one of the funniest fucking things that I've ever listened into, man. I was like mid-washing my car with my AirPods in, and I literally had to like half finish so I could like sit down because I was trying to get a transaction through on Bonkbot. I was like, please let me get this the fuck in. And the dev's just like, yeah, man, I'm doing this on like an iPhone 6. Everyone's like, brother, what the fuck?
Oh, Dev was so fucking dopey.
Yeah, he had no idea what he was doing. But it was so funny. That was like the whole point.
So like on the topic of like the identifying the Trump thing, I think the Argentina thing yesterday is kind of like funny because I think my view on what happened yesterday, apart from the fact that it like rugged, was just like a lot of people that like pattern matched that same stuff that happened with Trump. It was like, hey, something's launching a coin, people are already fudding it, like this is obviously going to go to high multiples. But then they didn't take into account like the reason Trump did well was because of the 80% lock supply, etc., where like
And that he was the literal president of the
yeah.
United States, not
So
just
like
like some
so
third
like
world
even if
country
it
president.
only went to like 20% or like 50%, like I think that like the pattern matching was there, and like I almost bought, and then I was like, wait, like I'm not going to do this anymore because like
One thing I don't understand is like how did so many people? Because when I looked at the chart, it was like it it insta went to $1, right? Like on
yeah,
the first
true,
minute, it
yep,
went to $1. Then there was like over the next like over the next like what is it? The next like 30 minutes or something, it like slowly pumped. So like, how did so many people lose money if you bought like at any point in the first like 10 minutes, you still could have exited for like a free 2x. Like I'm just so how everyone seems to have lost my timeline's just full of like, yeah, I just lost 6 mil, I just lost 5 mil, I just lost 2 mil in
Yeah, I
Libra. It's like,
saw. Yeah,
what the fuck? Like there was like so much opportunity for you to sell for like a massive profit. Like, how did everyone round trip this thing so badly? Like, I mean, I was actually I don't remember what time. I think this launched at like early in the morning for us, right? It
yeah, it
like
did.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
like 8 o'clock in the morning, or 9 o'clock in
yeah.
the morning.
yeah.
Oh no, wait,
So
when did
like
it launch? Yeah, 9 o'clock in the morning.
I went. It was Valentine's night, so me and my girlfriend went to Crown, and we were like gambling all night, and then like in the morning, we were driving like at 9 o'clock. We were just driving back home. So I by the time I like woke up, like by the time I got home and checked out this coin, I think it had already topped. It was at about 10 o'clock, so it was like on the way down to like $2, and I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm not even gonna bother buying this anymore because like there was like I saw like on Twitter like people were saying, oh yeah, they've been withdrawing liquidity, and that was actually something that Trump's token didn't do. Like the team did not withdraw any of the liquidity, so all the tokens people bought, I mean all the money like the USDC from the buyers was all still in the liquidity
In the
to sell
liquidity
into,
pool. Yeah,
whereas
Hmm.
these guys like they were withdrawing massive amounts of liquidity, so it makes it when you sell, the price drops quicker than when it went up. So
yeah.
I was just like, no, I'm not gonna bother. And then I was like begging. I went into the fucking HyperLiquid Discord, and I was like, because they HyperLiquid has like a spot listing request. Oh no, not a spot, a perps listing request. And I was like, please list Libra. I wanted to short the fuck out of this thing, but yeah, didn't they didn't list it. So
I was looking
And
back
now
on the
it's
chart. It was 45 minutes that it was going up for, and then like after 45 minutes, it went straight down. But like
yeah, so how did
still,
so many people get wrecked? Like, were they just all buying on the way down, not and they all missed like the first 40 minutes? Like, I don't
like
understand.
I'm
Especially,
it
assuming
must
people
have just
tried to.
all these people, like,
even
apparently, like half of CT knew before the launch that it was coming. Like, what the fuck?
I
like,
saw
I don't know,
people getting
maybe it was that thing of like, oh well, relative valuation compared to Trump, like it's going to do 25% or it's got to do like at least a certain amount. Like there's no way I'm selling this
yeah.
now.
I,
Kind of like framing and then not realizing that it's like,
I think they didn't want to
yeah,
sell for a 2x or like a 2.5x.
a 2x. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the thing
they
I
wanted
thought.
a
They didn't
10
want to sell for a 2x
or or
mm,
something like that. Because like
because they thought they got in so early. Like, say
opening
you
value
bought in
was
the
like
first like 10 minutes.
a bill, right? So like
Yeah,
if
but like, say you bought in the first 10 minutes. Yeah, you would have got like a 2-3x. Yeah,
mm,
but like most people were just like not satisfied with the 2-3x. If
yeah.
especially if you bought in the first like 10 minutes, you would
But like
consider yourself like
all these
really
retards were
early.
buying it like they were sizing like 500k,
No,
600k,
no,
like
I know. I saw
which is
like on
crazy.
what's his name? Inverse Bra like did a bunch of tweets of like the dude like he sized up like $4 million and like he's worth
oh,
like it's worth like under 500k now or some shit. And I was like, wait, was he just like buying? Did he like top blast 4 million or did he like buy it on the way up or on the way down? Like what thesis did he have to like just like ape this like large amounts of money without like checking things like what PK said? Like, are they actively like pulling liquidity out? Like,
That's fucked.
hey, at least Meteora won. So, you know, they had a good day.
That
yeah.
single-sided liquidity thing though is pretty cooked, like because they set up the pools with the single-sided liquidity. So like as people were buying the token, like it was all going to Sol, but like it was just pulling it straight out for them, like because they and yeah, so they were just getting all of this Solana. the liquidity was going down because they weren't fucking single sided. So like the token and Solana. So like as people were buying the token, it was only going to sell, but as people were selling, it wasn't like rebalancing. So yeah.
Wait, my thing bugged out for a second. Couldn't talk. Okay.
Yeah.
During on the day of Trump, there was actually a lot of like people were like talking like, oh my god, the Trump team have sold like $100 or $200 million worth of tokens already, and I was like one of the first ones to be like no, they haven't sold shit. That's just how single-sided like LP works. Like I don't think, because I think it was like Coin Analysis or Outcome or one of those like aggregators. Yep. Like, oh, the Trump team has already sold 200 million tokens. Like, it's like, I mean, yeah, they kind of have, but that's not really how like single-sided LP works. Like they're selling it, but like it's the money stays, as long as they don't pull the liquidity out, the money stays to sell back into. So it's not. Yeah.
And now it turns out that the whole Argentina thing was like an elaborate scam anyway.
What was that? I saw a video of like the dude who like dude boxed himself. What a retard.
That dude's dimensions are crazy.
Oh my god.
Bro, he's got shoulders like
the guy's built like the Sonic bad guy.
It looks like he's wearing a spacesuit, man. I'm like, fuck, bro.
Insane.
I couldn't believe like after all of that, like you still decide to come out with it, and not only that, you dox yourself.
Dox yourself is crazy. Oh. Yeah.
Buying the bottom of Libra would have actually been a sick trade.
I actually thought about it yesterday. I was like looking at it.
Did it actually like run up? What's it at now? I haven't even looked.
Getting like lunar flashbacks of like I can
it like 3x from the
bottom. Yeah,
but you could pretty much buy any size because it was like 50 mil single-sided LP to buy. So you could pretty much size in like you could market buy a mil and it wouldn't even move the needle.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, liquidity was quite high. Yeah, fuck, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's up like 2x from the bottom yesterday.
Yeah, nice.
3x.
3x, yeah.
3x, yeah.
Shmiko bottom's like 130. Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
At 130, at 130, I was taking a screenshot of the remaining USDC, and I was like, "There's about 6 mil USDC left. So if like too many more people sell, there's going to be there's going to be no way to sell your tokens anymore." But yeah, it ended up pumping from that. So yeah, I should have realized that it wouldn't go to zero. The USDC wouldn't go to zero.
No, that's interesting.
Yeah, not good to piss off the Argentinian government, man. They don't exactly have the most above the board police law enforcement division in the world. I would not like to be the guy that fucks them.
I don't know why. I don't know anything about them.
It's more just like police corruption, law enforcement corruption. Like their courts are not something I'd like to be wrapped up in, especially if I've just like pissed off Millet or.
But it's not like I don't think any of the people who launched it are like in Argentina.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're not like fucking.
It's like the people
who they're not gonna fucking kidnap someone.
Can you imagine the Argentinian Mossad?
Yeah.
Hey amigo, put your hands up.
Kidnapping fucking Javier Milei rug.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I think considering talking about the state of the current market is a good lead on question for PK. Is what do you think of the current state of the market? Like, are you like bullish on specific sectors? Are you like bearish because it's so extractive? Do you think like?
Yeah, I'm bearish. I'm bearish not because it's extractive, because I think Trump is going to crash the economy.
Okay, interesting take.
Please tell me more. I love this.
Yeah, I'm keen to hear more.
Yeah, so I think I'm not bearish because of the extraction, because I think like the extraction going on right now is like, yeah, it's bad, but I don't actually think it matters too much. Like the same shit was happening in 2021 and it didn't really stop anything. Like I think extraction is always going to happen, and I don't actually think like this level of extraction is anything special more than like the previous cycles. Like I actually think comparatively 2017 was probably the worst extraction because compared to 2021 and 2025, because in 2017, like first of all, you had a lot less liquidity to go around, and then like these ICOs were basically just taking the funds and then instantly selling them into dollars, not even USDC at that like back then, or USDT at that point. They were just selling them into
Real fiat.
like their bank accounts. Yeah. So I think that was probably the most extractive, and it still didn't. Yeah. So I don't really care too much about the extraction. Like I know people like get really mad at like Pump Fun and Trump and all these coins for like rugging millions, but I think that just like that's just par for the course. Like that's always going to happen. But yeah, so basically, I think that these Trump tariffs that are coming, probably. I mean, it might be good for the American economy, but it's not going to be good for the world economy. And even if the American economy is strong, if the world economy crashes, like crypto is going to crash. That's just how it goes. So yeah, that's pretty much why I'm bearish. And that's why I'm keeping most of my money in USDT, because the American dollar is going to become very strong if they start tariffing everyone. And I mean, maybe Trump's lying, but I mean that's what he says he's going to do. So.
Yeah.
True.
The moment you said the word bearish, we dropped from 18 viewers to 14 viewers. It was amazing.
Oh, shit.
Fuck this guy.
No one wants to hear. No one wants to hear the bear case. All right, never mind, guys. We're going to 1 million Bitcoin.
Let's go
in the next 2 weeks.
Wow, look at that, 50 viewers.
We need Moonboy PK. No, I agree. I think
was it Balaji who made like the bet like Bitcoin is going to 1 million in the next 2 months because of hyperinflation, and then he bet like $1 million.
Yeah, and it didn't. And he was like, I was just trying to prove a point. I'm like, okay, bro, like chill out.
Was the point losing $1 million? Because if so, well done.
Did he even pay out? I don't know. Like he was some random on the timeline. No, he did.
It was it's a guy who he's
Professor
like
Professor Plum. Was it him?
Was it Professor Plum? I thought it was a tax guy. It's like a guy who's pro taxation in the States. Like he's like left leaning guy. He's pretty switched on. Like I actually like him.
All I say is I wish Balaji had made that bet with me. Like
Agreed.
Same, man.
Agreed.
Same. It's like Bitcoin to $1 million in 2 months. Yeah.
Do you think are you like bullish long-term BTC? Like would you size into a position into BTC, or would you sort of just like you just mainly just hit a trade?
No, probably not.
Yeah.
No, I mean, look, if there's like another bear market, BTC hits like 30 or 40k again, maybe then I would, but like no, I mean, like with BTC at 100k, there's no way I'd be buying at this point, or like even if it goes to 200k from here, it's just not worth it. Like the risk is not worth it.
I get what you mean.
The risk is like terrible.
Yeah. So I'm basically like I'm happy to just sit in stables for the next 2-3 years and just take like small trades when I see you can feel good opportunities.
But,
and I'm planning on like I don't need to cash. I've already cashed that enough, but I'm planning on like buying more property in Australia.
Yeah.
Other stuff.
Keep the Ponzi running.
Yeah, from one Ponzi to the next. Let's go.
Yeah, look, Melbourne property is fucked though, right? Like, I mean, I already own I own a house already, up in the Gold Coast, but like Melbourne property is
Melbourne's cooked.
Melbourne's so turbo cooked.
But Melbourne's
like
Melbourne's like good opportunity, I think, like right now.
Yeah.
Slightly.
I'm looking at places in like Bentley East area.
Yeah.
I currently live in Carnegie, but like, and I want to buy a house here, but it's just too expensive. Like,
Carnegie's
like a good sized house in Carnegie is like $3 million, whereas like for the same exact house in like Bentley East, it's like 1.2 million, 1.3 million. So it's like
dude, it's fucking crazy. Like I'm in for like not even that far over. Yeah, it's the same in Camberwell. Like a house on my street went for like 3.5, and I was like, what? It's like an okay 3.5 bedroom, like 80s build house, and it's going for 3 and a bit.
Yeah,
and like,
Melbourne is so weird like that. Like one suburb will be like a Toorak, which is like 2 kilometers away. Like shit will be like 10 mil, and then the same house like 2 kilometers down is like 1 mil. It's like it's really the Melbourne market is so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Someone asked a
because Turek
question.
has the streets. Yeah, you go.
Oh yeah, is the full porting worth it if you see stuff just like Trump coin? Well, the answer to that is yes, but the real answer to that is we probably will never see something like Trump coin again. So the other answer is no.
Yeah.
If the United States government ever launches like a real legitimate token, like not like a scam token through like a marketing agency, that would be your only other Trump coin equivalent. So
Yeah.
I'd say
what
like
about
the
Xi
answer is
Jinping?
yes, but the real answer is there's never going to be anything like that.
What about
China
Yeah,
coin,
like
all in.
a China coin, like a Xi Jinping coin?
I honestly would not trust a China coin.
Yeah, that's
even.
true.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
I wouldn't
port that.
either.
I might like 1/10 port that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's funny when you think about like in hindsight.
I wouldn't even full
it's-
port Moss coin. I would probably
fuck
I would
no.
probably 1/3. I would 1/3 port Moss.
Yeah, I mean it'd be
Depending on how
PvE.
early
It'd be really PvE if it's like legit and you get in early. But yeah, it's so hard to like at this
Only a
point with all the
20-minute drive from
extraction.
Bentley to Carnegie. It's less than that. It's about a 10-minute drive from Bentley to Carnegie.
Yeah, because my
10, yeah,
cousin
10
lives in Hampton, and that's like near Brighton. That's really expensive. Like similar.
Yeah,
like
Brighton.
3-4 mil.
I've been looking at Brighton too, but Brighton's
Yeah,
actually
Brighton's
really-
so expensive. But then Bentley's like 10 minutes away, and it's like like 50%, 60% cheaper, which is kind of fucking
Yeah.
wild. But,
I read a
yeah,
pretty
Bentley
cool
is
article on Oz
pretty
Property
bad.
today, even though this is a crypto podcast, but now that we're talking about it. But it was basically like if the RBA decides to do a cut, then the amount of supply will increase demand, because like obviously demands at the moment there's like a balance, right? Because like there's too much demand, not enough supply. But like not a lot of people are wanting to sell into a market now when they know that there's not a supply, but a lot of people are thinking that when rates get cut, prices will go up a lot. So if they do drop rates a bit, then like the amount of people selling into it thinking that house prices will go up a lot will outweigh the amount of people that are willing to buy. At, like,
so you think when they cut people,
that sounds like hopium to me.
Yeah, it definitely is. But it was an interesting article. I was like, oh yeah.
Someone think, do you think an opportunity that you got over the last years we'll never see them like this bull run, or is it hard now? No, so I mean, there's opportunities always. Like, I actually think the opportunities this bull run were harder to take than the 2021 bull run, because you had more choices. Like in 2021, it felt a lot easier. Like you had your options were basically like SHIB, SafeMoon, or like just a few other like ones, and they all just seem to go much higher than the coins this cycle. So I think 2021 was easier than this one. So I don't actually think that I don't think this bull run was like especially easy. I mean, who knows? But next bull run might even be easier than this one. But I doubt it'll be easier than 2021.
I think it's
They will increase immigration to counter it. Yeah, that's probably true. Unless like yeah, I mean, no, yeah, that's definitely. I mean, the only way that doesn't happen is if like one nation wins and one nation is never done. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter, Liberal or Labor, like immigration.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, most people that vote like own property, so they're gonna just put their self-interest.
Yeah, that's true.
Like most people who say the voting booths are like 50,
I think like nationalism is not a big thing in Australia. Like people don't really care too much. So there's like, even if there's anti-immigration sentiment in Australia, like it's never gonna
doesn't matter.
carry
Yeah,
over, like politics. It's not a big political force in Australia like it isn't like for America, for example. In America, I think nationalism is much more prevalent.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Like if it was crypto, right? If like people could vote on like having, well, it's kind of like where we're at now. It's like, hey, we've got a whole bunch of new participants, and they all like scams, because they all like the Ponzi. Or would you rather less participants, but we actually have real shit? People still vote for the scams because it gives them a higher opportunity to make money. That's kind of the same shit. Like in Australia,
I mean,
it's a bit of a weird correlation, but
I think most people might choose that, but I actually think the other way is better, just because it's easier to find the good coins when there's actually like fundamentals to go on. Like it
so
makes
much
it a bit
easier.
easier. But yeah, I agree that most people don't like that. Most people just like
if you had a choice, like easy but you only get a 2x or a 3x, or harder but you can get 100x, like people
Yeah.
still choose.
Most
mean,
people still
yeah.
choose the
The
100x.
100x.
But that,
I'm
I
built
think
different,
that's
man.
just
Trust me.
that's just a function of like capital invested. Like for example, in 2021, if you told me I could get into crypto and get a 3x, I would just tell you to fuck off, because like what I'm gonna 3x my $500. Like, oh yeah, that's gonna help me a lot. But if
Yeah.
you tell me like I can 1,000x my $500, that okay, then you've hooked me. But like, yeah, I think and that's also one of the reasons why back like when I was starting out in crypto, I hated Bitcoin. I actually hated Bitcoin because I was like, what is the point of me with my 4-figure portfolio buying any Bitcoin when what am I going to get, like a 2x, a 3x? Like it's stupid. But I now that like, because my portfolio is bigger and I understand like liquidity constraints and things, like I understand the appeal of Bitcoin more.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, I think that's like a lot of some issues with like a lot of bigger accounts that made money previous cycles. Like people like Donald, that they don't really understand like that most people actually are playing with like 4 figures.
Yeah.
And it's yeah, okay. It's obviously like their coins are gonna obviously go to zero. Like there's no doubt about that. But at the same time, it's like people are saying, oh yeah, BTC's at all-time highs. But it's like, yeah, they would have made like 30% if they like ported it. Like
Yeah,
like
I mean,
a couple
yeah,
months
like
ago.
definitely.
It's very
Like
difficult
people
to
like
like.
Don out will like people like Don out are like cheering when they catch like a 10% move, and it's like, I mean, that's good for you when you're trading
Yeah.
with like what, like a seven-figure portfolio, but like a 10% move for someone with 5K that's nothing.
Meaningless.
Nothing,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
virtually meaningless. So it's like, yeah,
But
it's a hard.
when
It's a
you
hard.
get like a 3-figure or a 4-figure airdrop, you're always willing to just like fucking, oh well, I'll just see if it goes up. Like afterwards, when it's like worth $5, you're like, fuck, that could have been a nice few meals, or I could have bought something nice with that, but instead it went to fucking zero. But like every time you're like, it's fucking nothing.
Yeah,
What
I was like
Either
very.
you play in shooters or you blow up on perps. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't trade perps, guys.
Don't trade perps.
That's not gonna. Perps is more gambling than shooters. Like, not even joking.
I think perps is just like harder like skill level, like because it's obviously just like you just you're competing so hard against like market makers, stuff like that. But like shitcoining this cycle in the right environment was like actually quite easy if you were like actually a profit maxi. But at this point, with like the level of extraction and like how efficient this whole casino is, it's like actually, if you're not an insider, there's virtually no point in trading it like at all after Trump coin. So it's very unless like conditions change, which like I don't really see how they can change after the president launched a coin. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
PK,
Yeah, I
what's
actually
your
at the
thoughts on... No, you go. You keep going.
Okay, I was just gonna say I actually took all my funds off Solana, just so I literally can't trade even if I wanted to.
It's actually really smart.
Just because
It's like pouring all the alcohol
he's
out.
right about
Nah.
the fact that Sol right now is just like max extraction and it's all like insiders. So like there's just no money to be made at the moment.
Yeah.
So if you do make money, I think it's just luck. It's not like there's no like skill.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I
So
think,
yeah,
like,
I'm just out of Sol at the moment.
I think as well, like you had Trump that like extracted like multiple hundreds of millions out of the
You probably
casino.
honestly got nearly $1 billion extracted.
Yeah, and then like
I think multiple billion.
yeah, so like you got that, you've got like all of the other like grifty coins that launched in between, and then yesterday, like I think what they made 80 million off that Argentina coin or something like that. So, like, all of that money,
that money's never coming back.
Yeah,
it's never coming back. It's going into the bank.
Yeah,
it was 120 million, I think.
Yeah, that's crazy.
120 million just the team, not even insiders.
Yeah, insiders probably made another like 50 mil. Yeah. It's just interesting when you think about.
Yeah, probably about that.
Because like with the shitcoin metas, like the past 6 months up until maybe like pre-Trump, just before Trump, when they AI meta, Bitcoin meta, like all this capital, like unless there was like obviously some people that were taking profits, but a lot of the people trading these shitcoiners were just like left curve retards. So they would have like at some point like put it back into other shitcoins because that's just how the way they work. But you know, when insiders get involved, like extraction events with Trump, it's just like so difficult, and they take all the money out.
They all put it into Melania and lost everything.
Yeah, that was fucking
Straight away.
wild. That was a horrible thing to see.
next
Because with
day.
Trump, it was like, okay, this is like a PvE coin. We could be onboarding new users. All right, moonshot's the new meta. And they launched Melania coin, and I was like, all right, fuck it, throw everything out. We're done.
He's a bit of a jerk now.
That was it. I both Melania was both like very bad for me and also quite good, because it was bad because I mean the price went from like $80 to like $60 within like 20-30 minutes of that. But it was really good because as soon as like Melania dropped, when the price was like it was around $65, I just had like an epiphany that like, okay, now they've launched another coin. There's no guarantee they won't launch more coins. This is gonna vamp the fuck out of Trump. So I just sold everything at $65 and I got like, I made a lot of money because I realized that it was the end because of Melania. So I'd say like Melania was bad because I think Trump would have got a lot higher if it didn't launch, but it was also good because
it made you realize
gave me a sell signal.
Yeah. Because you wouldn't have.
It gave me a sell signal, which otherwise I might not have known when to sell.
Yeah. That actually, this all flows well into what I was going to ask you before, PK, which is like, do you think we get just like big, like this is like longer term setup, and this is pure fucking theory at this point. Like no one has any fucking idea, but I'm just interested in your take on it, or like what your thoughts around it would be. But like, do you think we see shitcoin season 2.0 on Sol? Like, do you think a big flush bear market Sol kicks off again, or do you think it'll be like a new chain where it's like everyone's doing shitters on Sui this time, and like that's what we get, and then there's like an alt L1 that overtakes Sol, and we have that kind of same run up, and then Sol maxis are like the salty bag holders.
Yeah. So I think I don't think that'll happen. Like not like that anyway. I think how it'll go is probably, let's say if this extraction like continues much longer, we will have like a Sol bear market for sure, just because people will run out of money. And then if it goes like the 2025 route, basically it's just gonna cause, the 2021 route, it's gonna cause like a multi-month bear market, and then there'll probably be like, an echo bubble. So like the funny thing was in 2021 the echo bubble actually reached a new all-time high, which for Bitcoin and most majors, which was a bit ironic. But I think I actually don't think like Bitcoin is not the way to look at like alt season anymore. Like you have to look at the price of like Solana and Ethereum, because Bitcoin is just like an asset on its own at this point. But so I think like we might go into like a few month bear market, and then we'll have like a little resurgence pump. I think Sol will still lead at that point, and then at the end of that like little like echo resurgence pump, Sol will either be completely dead or it'll be like the dominant one. I don't think there's any in between. Like there's no like it'll be like BSC, right? Like BSC is just absolutely dominant up until pretty much towards like the later half of 2021, and then in the later half of 2021 it got vamped by all the Ethereum L2s and AVAX and stuff. So I think either I don't actually think Ethereum is going to make a comeback at this point. I think probably the only chains that will be like hella active as far as shitcoins go is going to be Base and Solana. I'm not too like bullish on any other chains, not even like Monad and all those ones that are still to launch. I don't think any of them will do too much. I think just Solana and
I'm personally bullish Berachain, dude. So that's we need more massive L1s to do stuff on. That's what we need.
Of seed round.
With heaps of VCs that got in really early. That's what we want.
No,
I think
Brotato Capital seeded Berachain.
None of that.
Well, I got an airdrop, so thank you, Berachain. I'm sorry. I'm being an ungrateful little prick. So sorry, guys. Dude, I couldn't wait. I was like, please.
I think this is a good point to like lead on to the next question as we're talking about L1s and new chains. What are your thoughts on HyperLiquid ecosystem, PK? And do you think Jeff, doing really good things? Do you think like there's a big future on HyperLiquid as like a perps and spot, platform for on-chain users, or do you think the growth will sort of stagnate?
I think HyperLiquid is going to do very well as like a DEX. like a perp dex. I'm not actually as bullish on the EVM. Like I do think the EVM will be good, but long term, like I'm not too bullish on it. But that's not to say that it can't do well. That's just my personal like pessimism. It's not like it can't do well. It's just I have to see it to believe it. But I mean, I'd say like out of any of the like upcoming chain L1 chains like Monad and HyperLiquid and all them, I do think HyperLiquid has the best chance to succeed, just because the devs on HyperLiquid pretty much they push faster than any other devs.
Yeah, I actually I agree with you there. But I probably add to that. I'd say I think people are thinking hype EVM is going to be like a high speed, fast performing chain, whereas I don't think that's like their intention. I think the intention is like the EVM is there to complement the DEX. So like if the DEX, because like the way that they've structured the EVM is it's not a side chain, but like it processes transactions separately to the way that the DEX processes transactions, if I'm correct in that, from what I've read. So it's more like the EVM's there to enable you to do like borrow, lend, whatever other applications like you would need to then support being able to trade better on the DEX. But the DEX is like the main product. So it's like if you're thinking of the EVM as something to be like Solana of the world or anything, I think people will be severely disappointed, and I imagine that like when it comes out, people are going to shit all over it because they'll be like, oh, this is just as slow as Arbitrum or Ethereum or whatever. But it'll be like, no, this enables some applications to be built that allow people to borrow off of their USDC or whatever other coin that they're holding in order to then bring it back to the DEX and then trade with that capital, something to that effect.
I somewhat agree. I don't think like EVM. I don't think HyperLiquid will be like the center of memes like Solana. I think it's going to be more DeFi focused. And,
100%.
And I've seeded quite a few HyperLiquid stuff, mainly DeFi stuff as well. So nice. I agree. With that.
Are you bullish? Like, would you be bullish the token itself and the ecosystem, or like would you be bullish long term on the token, or would you sort of distinguish them differently? I mean, the token I guess would pump if the ecosystem.
Yeah, I am bullish on the token. I mean, I actually don't hold any of the token at the moment. I've just been like a trader in like this. I mean, I've made memes about it, like the DiCaprio range. So I basically just every time it hits like 26, 27, I sell, and then when it gets back to like 22, 21, I buy. So
that's
at the moment I don't hold any because I sold the last time it hit like $26. So yeah, I will buy more if it goes back to like the 21, 22 range, because I do think long term like hype will I mean they're just buying so much of the supply that there's no way for it to go anywhere but up.
Yeah, good point.
I was going to ask if the DiCaprio range is like the 25, 26, like who's selling $28? Because there's someone that's
well, obviously
there's obviously someone that doesn't like 28-year-olds and above. So I'm trying to find out who that person is.
We're gonna need to add a new band on the chart if it goes much higher.
Yeah, for sure.
I think this is a good chance to like ask a question of, and I know it's pretty difficult at this point in the cycle because so much has already happened. So we've pumped so hard off 2022 lows. But if you were someone new to crypto, what would your advice be? Like, would you tell them to like play around on chain, or just learn the basics and be willing to lose a bit of money? Like, what kind of advice would you give just some like random dude that wanted to get into the space,
into crypto in general?
Just speculative.
I'd say it depends on how much capital you're willing to put up. If you don't want to put up anything and you want to get into crypto, I'd say you just need to go on like test nets and airdrop farms. So, I mean, on HyperLiquid right now, you can do that on several things. You can do that on, for example, HyperSwap, which I've done quite a lot of testnet farming on. there's actually quite a few opportunities right at the moment on HyperLiquid to do testnet farming, which you can do with zero capital. So I'd say that's a great place to start if you're like someone who just wants to jump in, and you don't want to risk anything. If you have like money to spend, I'd say now is like, it's one of the worst times to like, try and start right now. I would say like, if you're going to start right now, you want to like take like whatever size you were planning on doing and like divide it by 100 and then just play around with that. And then just like try and learn about like, all the different things, learn about like, like Telegram bots, learn about how on-chain trading works, learn about liquidity, learn about DLMM, learn about, X plus, like X times Y equals Z, like all the, how the V2 and V3 work, all those kind of things. Yeah, I'd say that's probably like a good starting point. Yeah, it was funny. Like, someone once asked me, like, it was just some random on the internet. I was like, can you help like teach me? And I was like, it would take hundreds of hours to like teach everything I've learned like over the years, and it's just like, it even if like there was someone like I wanted to teach, like it just wouldn't be worth it. Like, it's so much difficult content to teach, and it's like if someone doesn't want to like learn it themselves, they want to be taught it, like it's not for them. It's that kind of thing. It's like you kind of just have like to learn by doing.
Yeah, it's like an unteachable shit of like, I don't even know where to start. It's like there's so much shit that you'd have to figure out that like, go.
I think that's a great point, what you said of like, if you want, and like it applies with everything, because I see it with normies as well, and they're always like, bro, can I give you like $500? Can I give you 1,000? Can I give you 2,000? And this is only a select few people, because I don't actually tell that many people that I'm in crypto, but it would be like, yeah, can I give you $2,000 and you're making money? And it's like what you just said is so true. It's like, if you're not willing to like actually learn yourself, like it's just like not for you, because like it took me like so fucking long. Like took me probably over a year, to construct, a baseline of like, what's grifting, like what's real, like what's fake, like the Twitter, like what's good about, like everything about this space. And it's like, you can't fucking do it just like in a day.
The funny thing is I actually try and help, like especially like 2 or 3 of my like very close in real life friends. I try and help them, but like especially like one of my friends, like he really wants to get into crypto, but then he wants to put like no effort in, and then even when I'm like trying to teach him, he just like won't listen. Like that's the guy who I got on the Trump trade, and I was like, so he bought it, and then like he kept like wanting to buy more, like as the price went up. So like I got him in it at $14, and then at $20 he was like, oh, I want to put more money because it's going up, and I was like, okay, like it's like you can put more money, but like if you should have just put all the money you wanted to put in at 14, and then and then you stop buying, and then he's like, okay, I'm just gonna put like one more at 20, and then it goes to 30, and he's like, oh, I want to put more now because it couldn't keep going up. He kept buying all the way up to 60. He kept buying up to $60. He sold it like $50, so he was still in profit. And then, like I said, he rebought more at like $40 and then capitulated at like 30. So like he ended up like just barely in profit. But it's because like he just wouldn't listen to me. Like he just kept wanting to buy more because he kept thinking, oh, it's gonna go up, it's gonna go up. It's just like it's very hard to teach someone who doesn't really want to be taught and who doesn't want to do any learning.
Agreed. Yeah, I think that's like.
And I mean, some people like they don't like have the time. Like, I mean, like I have another friend who he likes crypto, and then like, but like he's busy. Like he's doing a PhD. He's got other stuff going on. Like, I mean, it's definitely, it's the kind of thing. Like I was lucky because like when I started, I was like 20. I had no job. I had no job. I had no girlfriend. I had nothing. I was just sitting on my I was living with my mom at the time, so I was like, I didn't have to pay rent. I was just sitting on my computer for like 20 hours a day doing nothing but studying liquidity, studying charts, studying crypto, like learning about everything. So it's like that's the kind of thing I can do easily at 20. It's not the kind of thing I would really be wanting to start at like 25.
Yeah, it's like that Degen Spartan tweet of like, you have X amount of years to like hyper gamble, or like or you're like, wage cooking for, I can't remember the exact tweet, but yeah.
You had a certain amount of years after graduating to hyper gamble into generational wealth before you have to wage cook for.
Well, I've missed the boat, bros. It's over for me.
Look, I was gonna counter that because like Sticks will know and Tom will know. Like I've got a fucking pretty hectic full-time job, and I have a girlfriend, and I still find time. So I feel like people that don't want, like, I feel like you got to make time.
Yeah, you
know
got
what
to
I mean?
make time. And I think what 1L, like I've spoken to 1L about this in length. It's like I think there is like a point of like the where like wage cucking is worth it. Like obviously relative to how big your portfolio is, but like I know 1L for a fact like has a really fucking good high paying job. And like personally for me, like even me at this point, like where my net worth has gone up like a lot from the lows to the highs, like if I had like a really high paying job like 1L, like I'd probably still work for like I don't know, at least a few more years or something. But like the point is I can't get a high paying job because I like don't have a good degree or anything like that, or like I wouldn't be able to get one. So it's like the R&R for me is like not as that good. Like I would miss
100%.
I'd miss so much shit if on like a 50-60K job, as opposed to like a 300-400K job is like still so worth it, and you can also make the time. So it's like deciphering which way to
I
do it.
feel
In
like
my
the job
opinion.
gives you like more bankroll. So if you've got more bankroll, you can take more risk. But like,
Yeah.
and then
I mean,
also like
yeah.
sometimes when you're like plugged in 24/7, if you don't have a job, like you tend to get like you take moves out of boredom, and sometimes having the job enables you to just not FOMO into that one thing that you were busy with at that one time of day that like just got lucky with. But then in other times, like you miss like fucking crazy shit. So it's like if you have the right people on Twitter noties and like you've set up your notifications right, like you can probably still play the game. But like it's like a middle ground between like being able to play the game and like being, but like to be fair, like I'm
playing the game or married to the game.
Yeah, like I'm kind of retarded. Like I am like always on the phone. Like I'm in like big meetings at work, and still on the phone, and like I see something, I'm like, oh shit, better jump on that soon.
Gotta ape it.
So like
for me, it's like I there was probably up until like midway through 2024 or like the end of 2023, I was probably still considering getting a job after I graduate my degree. But at this point, I'm gonna probably just graduate my degree and not bother anymore.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
Yeah, well, I did the same.
I mean,
like
I could get a like
degree.
the kind of job I would get is probably around like 100 to 150 a year, which is it's just not worth it for me at this point.
No, I think if you're around that range, like it's kind of like whatever. But I think like as soon as it becomes a little bit higher, then it becomes like a maybe it's still worth it. And like I've missed.
It's definitely
opportunities,
worth
but
it. Yeah, a couple 100,000, I think. Unless your
another problem
portfolio
is
like
tax.
really
It's like if you're already paying like 45% a year in
yeah,
tax,
it's like me right now.
even if I
Yeah.
took a 300K job,
Yep.
that would only be 140K take home, 160K take home. It's like
yeah, it's fucked. And then
you got to start doing fucking investment properties and shit to try and get through that, and it's just like
the worst thing about that is all of your crypto
negative
gains
gearing.
are like taxed at 45%. So then you've got to set up like businesses and all sorts of like complicated like tax structures in order to get around.
Do you have structures?
I do.
Do you trade through like a you trade through a corporation and pay like 25%?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Yeah.
So I had to set that up because otherwise it was I'm getting like 45% slippage on every trade, and it's like
I do the same. I do the same. I trade through a corporation.
Yeah, I should have set that up before this, upcoming cycle. But
yeah, it's pretty funny. I've done this cycle in inverse. I did like full-time, mega intense, like working in crypto, but like requires all of your attention all day. Like very not. I was still fucking shitcoining, but like I missed so much just from being on stuff for like 6 hours at a time, or like doing interviews and all this stuff. And now that the fucking bull market's at an end, I'm quitting my job. So I'm like, yeah. Woo, great move.
I have a question for you guys. What stuff are you in at the moment?
Me personally, I'm in like mainly a hype, just like the token, and there's this 1L's in this as well. We've got a similar portfolio.
Yeah, I think
actually,
Sticks and I are the exact same.
Yeah, but it's basically a pump fund competitor called Go Fund Me. Yeah. So I've been in that since like
PK knows about it.
28 mil average buy. Like I wasn't really like that early to it, but like I think around like 25-30 mil was my entry.
So you're in hype and GFM.
Yeah, they're my like two main bags. And like the one point that I round trip this cycle is Popcat, which I haven't sold because I'm just waiting for the 50% CGT in like a month. So yeah,
the CGT like trap is so
it's
hard.
so bad because I was like up so much on Popcat, obviously in like November, and I'm like, I should just probably wait.
Yeah.
You know, till like I think late Feb or March, early March. I forgot when like I actually first bought it.
I've screwed
But
myself over so many
fuck
times.
this,
'Cause of
yeah. That was the
CGT.
one coin I did round trip this cycle. But yeah, aside from that, it's mainly just yeah, just like USDC and the Pacific Peso AUD. So yeah.
Yeah, like
Oh, and Nvidia, I'm like I have a very big like TradFi position in Nvidia, but that's like the only TradFi.
You bought it on the
position I have.
recent dump, or you've had it for a while?
Like probably sized into it at like I think I averaged so like I wasn't early to Nvidia at all, but I think I was buying it just like above 100 originally, and then I added more on the dip. So that's like my position. I wasn't like early to it. I like faded the whole move up. But yeah, I'm interested to see how that goes. But that's it for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm same as Sticks. I'm like hype GFM, and then I've cashed out like enough sort of this cycle just to be happy with.
Yeah.
And then I cashed out of my stocks just pre-tariffs. Like I was like big in Coin and Hood. I seem to have sold just before Hood pumped the other day, which was sad. But I sold Coin at like a relatively okay time. And now I bought them like pretty low, so I was pretty happy with that. So I'm like, whatever happens from here is good. And
I think the one thing I sort of fucked up on this year is like I mean, it's not what I fucked up on, but like all my big profit trades, none of them I except for maybe like Pudgy Penguins but that Pengu wasn't, but it was all like full tax, like no 50% discount, nothing like that. So yeah, I've kind of cooked myself there, but yeah.
A good way, if you want to take the 50% discount, is just short the same amount on perps, and then
Yeah, good point.
And then at the price you want to sell, short it on perps, and then hold.
Hedge.
Yeah, you turn it delta neutral at a certain price point.
Yeah, good point.
That's a good point. That's some alpha.
I did the same. Do you know that? Do you guys know the CRO card?
Yeah. The crypto.com.
Yeah. So back in like 2021, I don't think anywhere has CRO perps anymore. But back in 2021, I bought the CRO card, and then I just fully hedged it on FTX, and then the market crashed. But I didn't lose any money because of that. But otherwise, I would have lost a lot if I didn't do that. But I actually bought the CRO card again this cycle, but this time I couldn't hedge it on perps, and now I'm down about 30% or
20%. The card's pretty good though, right? Like you get like lounge access.
Yeah, the card is great. Get like 5% cash back, and then I get free Netflix, free Spotify.
Oh,
and I get the real reason I like it is I get lounge access, and I get and I can bring a guest with me, and you also get like $70 credit when you use the lounge access. So
that's pretty good.
It's really good. I just like and because I fly a fair bit, I can and with the level card I have, I can take like a guest, so I can fly, and then me and my girlfriend can just go to the lounge and get free food.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, it's although honestly, I probably, because of how much CRO has crashed since I bought, I probably would have just made more money just paying for the lounge this whole time. But
it's one of those additional free things that you're like, this is sick.
Like,
what a thing I wouldn't do if I didn't have a little card that told me I could do it. You know?
Yeah. I wouldn't. It's not the kind of thing I'd pay for. But if I have a card that says I can do it for free, even if I'm spending more on the card, it's somehow okay.
Yeah. Consumer psychology. Like, this is sick. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, wait a second. I wouldn't do this. Fuck.
Yeah. So funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Sweet. Sweet. Thanks, PK. I think that's probably a good time to wrap it up. It's been like an hour and 20. So,
yeah.
Really appreciate you coming on. It was good to get your thoughts, and appreciate all the people jumping in the chat and shooting through some questions. It was pretty sick. Yeah.
No worries. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
As a final sign off, I know you gave some alpha to people joining crypto, but the people that have been in crypto for a while, what would, like, given where we are now, like, what would be your like advice?
I would say at the moment, just stop trading, protect what you got, and wait for wait for a good time to buy. Like, I mean, prices. The thing is like in crypto, it's like there's probably like one day every like 3 years where you can actually say, okay, prices are not going any lower than they are now. Like, and I can guarantee you, I can pretty much guarantee you with near 100% certainty that today is not that day where like you will never get an opportunity to buy at these levels again. So I'd say, yeah, just protect your money at the moment and wait for a better time.
Nice. I like it. I like it.
Fog, yeah, that's good advice. Advice I should have taken a month ago when I round tripped again.
Yeah, well,
look at all these bargains. This is incredible.
Yeah, yeah. The coin, the coin that was cheap just got cheaper. Oh wait, it got cheaper again.
No.
So much cheaper.
Man.
Every second you look, it's cheap.
Awesome. No, thank you so much, PK. That was great.
Yeah,
but
nice.
appreciate you coming on. And maybe we'll see where we are in some time in the future. We'll bring you back on again and see how things have changed.
In a year, we'll do a
we'll do a recap.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
I think that'd be good. Awesome. All right. Cheers, guys. Peace.
Thanks, guys. Peace.